everybody, welcome to the Congregate Movie Show. My name is Deshaun, and today I'm here to review the Netflix original movie, The Gray Man. Now, this movie has been talked about for quite some time. You know, the Russo brothers haven't actually directed an action movie since Endgame. They haven't directed anything actiony. They directed Cherry, they produced, and I believe they produced another movie. They produced Extraction, but they didn't direct Extraction. And they've produced a couple movies, but this is the first time they've directed an action movie themselves, like, since Endgame. And this movie, and you can tell it's by the Russo brothers, because visually, like, from, like, the way it's shot, the way it looks, the visual stylings lines up perfectly, kind of with Civil War and Winter Soldier. When you see the movie, if there are little, like, scenes and whatnot that if you just saw it and I just said, oh, well, this is a scene from Civil War or Winter Soldier, you would assume it was. And the movie is starring Ryan Gosling and Chris Evans. Now, I'm gonna up top. Ryan Gosling is playing a character named Six. Now we never really find out his real name. I think we might at the beginning. Actually, now I'm thinking about it, he might have said it at the beginning, and it just went over my head. But they call him Six throughout the entire course of the movie. I don't think you find out his real name, but yeah, his name is Six, and he was recruited by Billy Bob Thornton's character, who's also in this, who's this top-ranking CIA guy who's creating a task force. Now, there has been many, many movies like this, and many, many books, and many, many games like this, where some organization inside the U.S. government is creating a task force. Be it Splinter Cell or something of that nature, there's always some special task force. But apparently this task force recruited specific criminals who they thought could be used in the field to go on missions, criminals who they could erase their entire life, and like who have specific conditions where they have no family, no people who remember them, they really don't have a mark, and they could be erased. And that way, when they die, kind of like the Ghost Recons, that way when they die or they get captured or something, there are no liabilities on them because they're criminals anyways, and they would have been in jail regardless. Kind of like a Suicide Squad in a way. And Ryan Gosling's character was obviously one of these people who was recruited by Billy Bob Thornton. It's one of the first sequences you see in the movie. And he becomes a member of this Gray Man. They're called the Gray Man because literally they are in the gray area. They're off the government books. They're in this gray, like I say, gray area. That technically they don't exist. These people don't have files, these members of this group. And through the movie, we discover, at the beginning of the movie, that Ryan Gosling's character is actually the last of the Gray Men. Most of them are they basically say all of them, except for him, are either dead or in prison. And this new guy who took over the organization, who's like rising up through the CIA, is pretty much trying to get rid of the Gray Men altogether. He's trying to get rid of them. He's trying his damnedest to get rid of them anyways. Well, Ryan Gosling goes on a mission, typical mission, and it goes it goes sideways when turns out the person he was going to kill was another Gray Man. Well, he didn't even know another one was still alive, and not only that, but that Gray Man had information on a conspiracy, on some dirty dealings by one of the top guys at the CIA. Needless to say, and they're pretty much saying he's going to kill him too. So now this entire movie kind of goes into a tumble over this little microchip that has all this dangerous information that could really fuck up this higher up. So now this higher up goes, and so how does this higher up clean up his mess? By hiring another badass outside force, and Chris Evans' character, Lloyd. Now, to talk about, first I'll talk about the performances from both Chris Evans and, why did I just blank on his name? But I'll talk about both the performances in this. Chris Evans, in particular, is having the time of his life. He really is. Chris Evans is having the time of his life. He is just, like, ever since he got done playing Captain America, between Knives Out and this, he has really gone out of his way to really get across that he like he's really gone out of his way to go the opposite direction of Captain America, because he's a complete asshole in Knives Out, and he's a complete lunatic in this. He's a complete asshole lunatic. Like, he is on the edge, and he plays this character Lloyd. Like, he's a douchebag who understands that he's a douchebag and is just living into it. You know, he's just really living into it. Whereas Ryan Gosling's character, he's a little bit more of the quiet man. Like, he's doing his what's the word I'm looking for? It's kind of I'm trying to describe what Ryan Gosling's character in this movie. He's kind of got that whole like cool, but like he's got comedic bits to him as well. Like, he's a bad motherfucker, and he has his bad motherfucker moments, but there's always this ease to him, sometimes to the detriment of the movie. But there's always this feeling that he is not intimidated by anything, and that he feels like he can get out of any situation, and that kind of shows through his expressions on his face. And he's just so calm and cool and relaxed about basically every situation. And you get the vibe he's just been through so much that this ain't shit to him. That this ain't shit. The scenario ain't shit. I will figure out a way to make it out of this. This ain't shit to me. And those two really bounce off of each other very, very well. There's also a performance from, I cannot say her name to save my life. She was in 007, the last 007, you know, something Arna. I can never say her name correctly. Anna, I'm not even gonna bother. But she's pretty good in this as well. The action itself. Now this is going to be the part of the movie that is so weird, because while I will say I enjoyed this movie and I enjoyed the action, it's the movie itself, the logic and the action is only a couple beats above like a Fast and Furious. Like, when the action's going down, it gets real fast and furious real quick. Not quite as bad, obviously. I don't think it gets anywhere near quite as bad. But it's Fast Furious light. Like, it's a slightly smarter Fast and the Furious. That might be what I even put in the title. This is a slightly smarter Fast and the Furious. Like, this is a slightly smarter Hobbs and Shaw in terms of the action, in terms of the dialogue, in terms of how it all works. It's a slightly smarter version of one of those of like a Hobbs and Shaw, like I said. Like, it's a fun popcorn movie with really fun actions. A lot of stuff gets blown up. A lot of people get fucked up. They get away with a lot of bloodshed, considering it's a PG-13 movie. They have a lot of bloodshed in the movie. Shockingly to me, I was kind of surprised. There's a lot of death. Chris Evans alone, with his performance and how much fun he is obviously having, is worth the price of admission. Ryan Gosling is doing a really good job. He's not anything particularly overwhelmingly special. He's like I said, he's more of a serious version. It's not like his role. Like, I've seen Ryan Gosling in some really good roles, you know? Obviously, La La Land, and you got fucking one of my favorite movies, the what was it? Was it The Other Guys? No, not The Other Guys. It was the Nice Guys. Nice Guys, which you should see that. That movie is so great with him and Russell Crowe. That movie was so good. I loved him in Nice Guys. I mean, even all the way back to Remember the Titans. Ryan Gosling has been in one of the most underrated movies of all time he was in. It's a movie called Drive. Great performance in that movie. Like, honestly, for years, Ryan Gosling, and this is gonna, you know, piss some people off, he was my pick to play Spike if they ever made a live-action Cowboy Bebop, because he has all the elements, this coolness. He's a really handsome dude, but when he wants to, as seen in this movie a little bit too, but as seen in Drive, he can get this dead-eyed look in his face that just kind of is scary. Like, you know what I mean? Or it can be funny and charming and goofy, like in the Nice Guys. The Nice Guys, he's so funny and charming and goofy, and you're just like, you know, he could be that. He's such a diverse actor, you know what I mean? I love Ryan Gosling. Like, that dude could do anything. He could do anything he wants to do. And obviously, Chris Evans is awesome. Always love seeing Chris Evans play a villain in this. Love seeing him play bad guys more often, because it really feels like he's just letting it all out. And you know what? That was worth the price of admission. If I had to give this movie a grade, like a number, I'd probably give it a 6.5, maybe a 7. It's a 7. You know what? It's a 7. It's not a bad movie. It's a fun action movie. It's a popcorn action movie. This is something that you get a box of like if you just need something to watch, you want to have some fun, you don't really want to think about nothing, you can just pop this movie on and you'll have a pretty decent time with it. It's not a bad movie at all. It's not like top shelf action movie. It's not like John Wick or some shit, but it's a fun action movie. It shows that the Russo brothers still could direct action, albeit this was really over the top and insane. Seems like they still trying to make a superhero movie. But I digress. I enjoyed it. I ended up enjoying The Gray Man. But anyways, thank you guys for joining the Comic Game Movie Show. Please like, subscribe, and I will see you on the next one. Have you checked out Netflix's Gray Man? I rather enjoyed it. If you're into, especially if you're into action. If you're into action movies, you're gonna get something more out of it. But you know, it's not Mission Impossible. It's not like I said, it's not the top shelf action stuff. But it's pretty decent. Anyway, thank you guys again. See you on the next one. Goodbye.